If I don't have the evidence, do something. Guess what? I do have evidence. They can't do nothing. You know why?
Not good. How's the audio?
We're still on the sideline. We're just supposed to do the work.
Is that mic on there? You testing that one? I don't hear anybody over
AOC, you know, you're a progressive socialist. We're talking.
They've had it the last two. Their last one.
Yeah, there's some nice cigarettes.
Was it you? This guy on my body, he's the one. I want to know what somebody did.
Let's do it.
I want to know. Look it up.
Okay. You can tweet from my account. Let's do it that way. Thank you. I'll be in touch.
Not starting it. Volume. Here we go. There's nothing on the headphone.
He's trying to say me right now. Where's your money going? I want to know. Where's your money going? I want to know. I lost everything. This shit, they canceled me. They got
Randy. All right. Randy.
No, he's fucking very happy.
Yes.
Yeah,
my information, you can believe the information they give me.
you can do.
I have evidence for yourself. The sexual assault allegation. As we speak here today, speaking here together, mass attack is disgusting. Worse.
There we go. Paper. Give me your paper. Okay, go ready. Wireless safe bed. You were charged? You had the charge.
Hey, how are you? How's everything today?
Nice and clear.
We're working on that, yeah.
Or he's anti-dead then? Is that what it is?
Come here. Come here.
Hey, how are you, sir?
What's going on?
Come here. Okay.
You have every right to be here? Just don't be in people's faces.
I'm not being
I
have video of this guy getting my face.
I'm not saying you are.
I have video of
Everybody
the guy
can take
getting my
video
face.
of each other. That's the world we
That guy right there, he's getting my face mad time. I have it on video.
No screaming at people, none of that.
You sex assault victim.
Okay? You understand?
I have a right to use this.
You do have a yes, you do, sir. I'm not stopping.
He's not going to do that. Once you leave, he's going to do it. He's done it at every one of these events we have.
I'm not stopping any of that.
Huh?
I'm not stopping freedom.
He's the one who's all the
Got it. No, I'm not looking at it.
Take a look. There's evidence, yeah. I have evidence of this corruption. Go ahead, Randy. Who invited Nick Bond today with Randy? It's got to be good. Nobody else wants to admit to it, Randy. Nick Bond, go ahead. Look at how he run away when I take his I'm telling you right now. Yo, it's mad funny. It's mad funny. Some people get to talk, but some people don't. What do you do to earn your spot, Wayne? You a celebrity? You know Jimmy Dore? You know the VIPs? Look at how much work I got
First,
behind.
let's
First
make it
person
so
to
people-
force the nomination. Assange is on the front. First percent to FTX protest, Assange was on the flight. Over 60 cans contacted over the last 2 years. Promoting Assange, yeah? Guess what? Because everybody wants to hear them, but not me. They get to be heard, not me.
Marlon, can you hear it? A little louder. A little louder. Thank you.
Check it out. There's boomers in this organization making children victims. Check it out for yourself. There's boomers in this
First of all, you all got to make room. You got to get this table out. Hey, you don't need it. Push it back. Push the table back. Give everybody a tripod. Walk by.
Αλλά η δυνάμεση είναι σίγουρη. Κάτσε εκεί για να κατέβασε την επαγγελίδα και γύρω να σου πω το κόσμο.
That's really it. Really just lining things up.
Thank you all for showing up today. You have seen Belmarsh? 90? Louder! Not get real close. Get back. You can stand back there. Ignore some of the noise. Please get back. Room for pedestrians. Make room for pedestrians. Thank you all for showing up here today at the Consulate Overseas Foreign Colony in the UK here in New York City in support of Julian Assange. My name is Randy Credico. I am here to move it along. We have a lot of speakers today. We have a lot of speakers, so I am going to be very brief. We're going to get from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the very end, which will be Roger Waters will be here. And I want everybody to stay back and don't listen to some of the noise going in. All right, so we like to bring up, we like to start this with Chuck Slacken from New York City, Free Assange. Chuck is going to say a few words. We're going to move it right along.
All right.
You know some of these people? No. I want to say a few words on behalf of grassroots organizers who've been working with support of Julian Assange from the beginning. For years, even long before there were national organizations involved in this movement, there were people who were getting out there, printing their own flyers, being in the streets with their own signs, calling up the media, getting the word out. And they've been the backbone of this movement. And for those here today who maybe it's their first time that they're at an event for Julian Assange, I say welcome. It's important for all of us to be involved and get more people involved in this as we go. I'm a union activist. It's important for us to get the unions involved in this movement and supporting Julian Assange. As members, the resources, and also use their experience in organizing. It's one thing that union organizers understand is you have to bring people together, their members, and what they can all work on together. Not to concentrate on the things that really support. So it's important for us to come together and follow them. And all we have to do to work on behalf of Julian Assange is to believe in no extradition, dropping the charges, and freedom for Julian Assange. That's enough that we need to grow the numbers of people to work on this. And I'd like to publicly thank Randy Credico for all he has done as a driving force to free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange, drop the charges.
Free Julian Assange! Drop the charges!
Thank you. There's always a few agent provocateurs around. I want to say hello to them. I want to say hello to everybody, including the 5 undercover agents from the NSA and the CIA that have sent some of their agents in here who really bothered us. But let's just ignore them, all right? We're here to support Julian Assange and end this persecution of Julian Assange. Others would like to see it continue, and you can hear them as they interrupt us today. But we got to continue moving forward. And right here, all the way from Germany, she's a very dynamic leader of the New Left Party. She's a member of the Bundestag, and she's been with the Assange movement for a long time. She spoke here last year, and she spoke in D.C., and she's been working her tail off in support of Julian Assange with legislators in this country, and I have a difficult time pronouncing her last name. Remember Sammy Davis? Is it just Sammy? It's just Seven. Give her a big round of applause.
International Day of Human Rights. Fighting for Julian Assange's freedom is nothing less than fighting for freedom. We are not here on the front. Support for Julian Assange is growing. 5 major newspapers have worked with Julian Assange and Wikileaks, New York Times, The Guardian, NYPD, Le Monde, Speakers. They have just published a joint appeal calling for the end of political persecution by the U.S. government. And in Germany too, there is a growing movement for his release. For several years already, there has been a non-partisan, a cross-party parliamentary group in the German Bundestag in which parliamentarians from all parties participate with the aim of working for the freedom of Julian Assange and demanding from the German government political asylum for Julian in Germany. And it gets better. And a joint non-partisan appeal that I helped initiate, 12 foreign ministers, including several justice ministers, writers, artists, journalists. They are all campaigning for the release of Assange. And even ministers of the German current government supporting the release of Julian Assange. And after many years of campaigning, in July of this year, the German parliament succeeded in passing cross-party resolution for the release of Julian Assange, and the German Bundestag condemned the political persecution of Julian as an attack on and called the German government to secure his release
about the sexual assault allegations of Nick Rana.
As extradition case.
Nick Rana.
It was a vast majority of the German parliament supporting this resolution. And that means this is a great success and shows us that political mobilization works different. It works. And everything what is possible in
I was the one
Germany
who
and
forced
Europe
Assange onto the
will
NPD
also
platform.
be
That's me.
possible in the
But
United
guess what? They're not going to talk
States. I
to me.
believe
Because guess what? I'm not connected
now
to big boy
is
Jimmy
the
Doran's
time
left crowd.
to
That's all they
salute
care about.
the new elected Congress
You're going to believe
and
the millionaire
mobilize
tax
together
celebrity
in
in this movement, or
Washington,
you're going to believe the guy who's on the
D.C. to
street?
defend
The guy who's got
the U.S.
evidence. I dare you to check
Constitution
up
and
evidence.
the First Amendment
Why can't
by
they do
winning
it?
bipartisan
Do it.
members of
I dare you to.
stand
But
up
I'm the
for
truth.
press
That's what's
freedom,
up.
to stand up for the freedom of movement.
What happened is wrong. If you don't get to minute, you don't get to run the whole movement, collect all the money, and then what do you do with that
This,
money?
my
I want to know.
is the task
What did they
and
try to
the
do with the
goal
money?
for the new year.
Woman sexual assault victim.
It must become the
Taylor
year
Clark.
Julian Assange is released and can return to his family and his children who miss him very much. Let's free Julian Assange. Thank you.
She stayed over. She was leaving this morning, and she changed the flight later on in the day just so she could be here. She just flew in from D.C. She's got to go back to Germany. So once again, give a big round of applause. Seven.
Dankeschön.
That's it. All right, can you hear? Can we turn the sound up?
Turn it up.
As high as it goes. We're at. How's that? Is that good? All right, we'll hug the microphone today in front of the U.S. Colony here, their consulate, and it is a crime against humanity, which is happening today on this International Human Rights Day. It's a crime against humanity what they are doing to Julian Assange for 4 years now. 4 years he has been incommunicado. What has he done? He is no threat to anybody except for those who are a threat to everybody, which means the U.S. government and the British government. They are a threat to everybody. Julian is a threat to nobody. He's inside his big, dark, rancid, squalid, medieval dungeon called Belmarsh. So we got to continue. We cannot sit on our laurels today. This is a better turnout than last year at this time, but we got to continue every single day. Tomorrow, what are we going to do? The next day, call, organize, have a rally, have a vigil, but we got to keep moving because we are facing incredible odds here. We are facing this and that and all of the other huge organizations, all of them, MI6, MI5, CIA, NSA, all of these, we're fighting against them because they want him quiet. And we got to fight. We got to keep going, folks. And I really just came back up here to read I got a couple of messages. Cornel West could not make it. He was going to show up today, and he's in LA. But he did send me this, and I'm the worst reader in the world. In 40 years of children's news, I never got any worse in the world because of it. But this is from Cornell. My dear brother, Julian Assange is a courageous truth teller and who clashed with the lies of the American Empire. Let us forever stand in deep solidarity with him. Cornell website. Somebody else was an actress or an actor. This is from John Pilger, but it's way too much. Takes me a month to read that.
It's a great documentary.
Bring you up here. All right. Garland Nixon. They can quiet him on Twitter, as they did the other day. Is a great, and Facebook, is a great satirist, is a great radio host, and one of the real, wonderful individuals in support of Julian Assange for a long period of time, and he came all the way up from D.C. Please, all the way up from D.C. Garland Nixon is really a tremendous talent. Thank you, Garland, and he's going to speak. There are two men in here. We're here to support. We're here to support Julian Assange, the person. We're here to support Julian Assange and stand for him as a person and a human being who is accused. We're not going to go. We're not going to stop. We're not going to give up. Everybody who is here today is going to continue the fight. It's going to, whether it's on social media, whether it's talking to friends, making phone calls, we're going to continue the fight. There are the issues of justice, but there are the issues of a person we all own, who has enlightened us in so many ways.
He gets to be somebody now.
Thank Julian Assange, the
Anything that I
person.
accomplish, better fucking
But we also have
whatever I
to look
accomplish, I
at
better
the
bury it.
issues at hand.
I mean, whatever I do, you
Can
better keep me off that stage. You better put on someone else. Someone who's accomplished less. Someone less committed. Someone who has that star power. Someone who looks like an activist, not like me. Yeah.
You have no justice system.
Yo, black people get Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. What do I get?
That
Nobody.
stand up and fight against these types of injustices.
Yo, you know I'm a powerhouse in the game, man. Why they throwing you in the ditch, man? Yo, you know I'm a big ass. I went to a lot of
we say we are all
you know that. I put a lot of dudes.
we all stand up against
Put a lot of dudes, man. I should deserve respect in the game for the work that I do, but my work is so crap. You can't talk about my work.
So I want to thank everyone.
Jackson Tinkle can go and play mingling with some of the hotties over
This
there.
is symbolic. This is great. Everybody should see what we're doing.
Half the board resign, but they don't care. They put Wayne Ron on today.
We must all be
That's how Wayne Garland gets done today.
all right. Keep the sidewalk and the edges. People otherwise will be moved down. All right. So please make at least a 2-foot thing. You see that center piece there? Right here, that big block.
And guess what? We can take over elected office right now. I provide 3 solutions to help people run for office. It's called Let My Black. Guess what? I also talked with over 60 cats across the nation. And we got a unanimous decision to support this one.
All right, so for many years, I was involved. How did I get involved with Julian Assange? Is that on my radio show in 2016? The person that got him on the show, reluctantly, I'm sure she regrets it today to some extent, was Margaret Radner Kunstler. She's the one. She's been working with Assange on a legal basis since 2013. She is a long time and a very quiet. She doesn't claim. This is something I admire so much about her, is that she does things and gets it done and doesn't look for a lot of applause. So she's just going back. I met her in 1987. I'd seen her on as the Person of the Week on ABC for her work on behalf of those that were being spied on and disrupted by the FBI peace groups and church groups out of Central America. So Margaret was involved in that big time. So would you please welcome civil rights attorney Margaret Radner Kunstler.
In here. Louder.
The crowd here is larger than the work we're doing is having an effect. I really do, and I'm usually not optimistic, but I am optimistic about the number of people working for Assange, the number of people doing hundreds of different tasks, whether it's handing out leaflets or giving speeches or writing articles or writing books. Looking for Assange, and that's somewhat very meaningful. And Assange without that, going forward, can't do anything for himself. So, what are we doing for him? We're doing a lot for him, and times have changed. And I want to say that COVID has helped us, because COVID has taught some of us who didn't know how to have conversations over Zoom or over Signal, now can do that. And so we can meet across the country, and we can organize in 10 places at once, and that's really helped us. And the fight has to be carried out. And I'm a lawyer, and I'm telling you, the fight is not in the courtroom. I'm not opposed to having lawsuits brought, because that also brings attention to it. But really, the fight is in the street. And if we can get enough people saying enough things, we'll be and we'll please you. Thank you very much.
Margaret, thank you. Let's have a little chant now. Free Julian Assange. 1, 2, 3.
Free Julian Assange! 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 Free Julian Assange!
All right, go ahead. Keep going.
Julian Assange!
All right. I have some time to burn. That's why I asked you to do that. All right. We have, you want to read that first? All right. This is a letter from, a message from John Pilger. He's speaking to me yesterday. And someone that is an actress. Elizabeth Ruff, Maldonado Ruff, will come up, read this. I'll hold the door.
I first met Julian in 2009. We have been friends since. For one thing, we share a black sense of humor. It's this sardonic sidewalk that's helped keep him going. Even during the darkest days in Belmarsh, he's witnessed the beacon of his resilience. It seems strange to say, but visiting Julian in that hellhole is almost inspirational. Whenever I leave the prison visiting room, I always look back, and there he sits, alone, waiting to be taken back to his cell. And his fist is raised high in eloquent defiance.
Eloquent, yay.
But there's a limit to this heroism.
Today.
If Julian is extradited to the U.S.,
Can't have none of them
that
street
may be
cats
the
out
end.
here. You know what I mean?
He may not
Hey,
survive.
go ahead, do something, bro. Go ahead, do something. Keep
Please
threatening me,
think
bro.
about that today. And if necessary, and in any way you can,
Threaten me again.
stand in the way of his tormentors.
I'm used to not
Stand
getting
with
help.
him.
That's why I help
Thank
Assange.
you.
I help people that don't get it.
Free Julian Assange! 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 Free Julian Assange!
They all embarrass me.
Thank you. That's John.
What about
John
Nick Bond?
Blumenthal.
And why is he speaking but not me? Who's done more than
And activist and Julian's closest friends. Somebody said to me, why don't we start a movement to boycott anything
Where's Nick Bond?
I said, what do I think from you
They don't care if Nick Bond is grooming women.
and I don't buy weapons. That's only for smart weapons and tea. John McDonough likes tea. I don't. Smidlings. All right.
Actual work on the ground myself, nobody.
Shepherd's pie.
Go ahead, Wayne.
You gotta
Keep
keep
winning,
it. You
bro.
gotta, here, this is guys from the NYPD. Thank you, sir. Yellow vest. Yellow vest. So, who is next? Who's next? We're going to bring up Joe Loria. I urge you once again to keep this sidewalk clear in the middle there. This space in between. Coming up, now is the managing editor of Consortium News, Joe Lawyer. Give him a round of applause. All right, how's that? Yeah. All right, I'm trying to keep my mouth there. Randy asked me to do an impersonation for Del Castro.
You heard of a great white coat?
Stay here.
Like me. You know what I mean? No, oh my God, over this guy.
Building, I used to visit every week.
What did this guy done for his sons? I want to know. Go ahead. Go ahead.
From the British Ambassador to the United Nations. In this building, and only the consulate of the UN mission. And I was a correspondent 25 years.
That was about all that work you did.
So I got a real sense into
Shut the fuck up.
making British.
Yeah, I know y'all not gonna help me. Yeah, I know nobody's gonna help me. What are you gonna do? Not help me? What are you gonna do if I speak out? Right? Not help me?
Playing a game of letting people think Randy, they're apology. I don't agree.
Not help me? Right? Let me do a little shit to me.
British diplomats and parliament in the room, so are their spies.
This guy steps up to you, you're not gonna help me. Guess what? I've been in that position before. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
What came clear to me when I think it's very obvious, even from the case of Julian Assange, is that the United Kingdom is not another vassal of the United States, like Germany or France, which reluctantly goes along with orders coming from Washington. You'll see Macron making noises. He goes to see Putin in Moscow, and he talks about security architecture in Europe. And what happens? Our Prime Minister, our Chancellor also says things, we're not going to send weapons, we're not going to siege of the U.S., they let that pipeline be destroyed. Britain may have been involved in it. The thing is, we don't know that for sure. But we do know that the British government was lost its empire really in the Suez crisis when Eisenhower stepped up and stopped it. That's when they realized they better join the United States in running a joint empire. And being as clever as they are, they're not just taking orders from the United States. For example, in the first Gulf War, when Margaret Thatcher said publicly to George H.W. Bush, don't go wobbly about attacking Saddam Hussein. This is the British Prime Minister talking to the President of the United States in public, telling him to grow a backbone and attack Iraq. In the second Gulf War, Germany and France voted against the authorization of the invasion down at the Security Council. That was one of the rare instances where a European so-called vassal stood up to the United States. De Gaulle pulling France out of NATO being another. Here was Germany and France voting with China and Russia not to authorize the U.S. invasion of Iraq in 2003. Guess which permanent member, the only one, voted with the United States? Good. Great Britain. Why? Because it was planning during the invasion of its former colony Iraq all along. Blair was not Bush's poodle. That's his fault. France were in there to invade, and they took part. They couldn't do it alone. They needed the United States. I'm not saying that Britain drove that, but they had an equal part in driving that invasion down into the Emerald sector. All this talk about 45 minutes since the document. This So coming to Julian Assange, we have to understand that journalism is being persecuted not just by the United States, but by Britain. Why? Because they want him crushed. I'm talking about white people. They want Assange crushed as much as the United States does for revealing crimes of state. They took an active part in the operation to arrest Julian Assange from the Ecuador embassy in London. And how did they do that? Well, it was called Operation Pelican. And this is from declassified UK reporting in the last day. The Home Office had 8 staff. The Cabinet Office had 7 staff working on the secret operation to arrest Julian Assange in April 2019. The Ministry of Justice, which runs the courts, they won't say if their staff was involved in this Operation Pelican. The Foreign Office at first refused to say if its premises were used for the operation. And they lied. A junior minister from the Foreign Office lied to Parliament, saying that they weren't involved, and now it's been made that they had several officers working on this case from the Foreign Office. And so Steve Duncan, who was from the Americans, he ran this UK campaign for the embassy. As a minister, his opposition to Assange very well known. He called Julian Assange a miserable little worm in a speech to the House of Commons. In his diaries, Duncan refers to, quote, the supposed human rights of Julian Assange. He admits in his book to arranging an article in the Daily Mail, a hit piece on Assange in the Mail, that was published the day after Julian was arrested. Duncan watched the UK police pulling Julian Assange out of that embassy from his operation room in the Foreign Office. He watched a live feed, and they were wearing ties, his team, and the ties were adorned with little pictures of pelicans, Operation Pelican, and they had a drink to celebrate the arrest of Julian Assange. Afterward, Theresa May, who was the Prime Minister at the time, announced to the House of Commons that he'd been arrested and was loud cheer. I don't know if it only came from the conservative back then, because also the Labour would be drunk. Duncan, the next day, or a couple days later, flew to Ecuador to thank President Lenin Moreno, the new government of Ecuador, lifted the political asylum of Julian Assange. He thanked him and brought a beautiful porcelain plate, the Buckingham Palace gift shop. I just want to say that the independence of the British judiciary is at stake in this case. Assange waits a decision from the High Court on his application for peace, the extradition order, as well as aspects of the local court. The Lord Chief Justice Ian Burnett is the judge who will decide whether to accept that plea. And guess what? Alan Duncan and Judge Burnett are good friends. We lunch together with a birthday party. So we want to know this thing. And be sure in Britain, I'll tell you that it's clear that the image of British justice itself is on the line in the case of Julian Assange. If he's extradited, the whole world will know the British vote for this tragedy. And so that is
Good job, good job.
Steve Donziger is going to bring up our next speaker. Is Steve Donziger here? I don't see Steve Donziger, which means that he counts on me. Is he right here? All right, Steve Donziger.
Can you hear me? Unbelievable that we have to be here to ask the Brits to do the right thing and free Julian Assange, who is probably the most persecuted political prisoner in the world today. I have the honor of being asked to introduce my friend Roger Waters. Obviously Roger is known for his music, his creative genius, and his inspirational leadership on human rights. And Roger, I want to salute you for what you do, because I like that military bearing. A lot of people don't know all the things that Roger does behind the scenes in this world for people to help them get through difficult situations, as I have, but also to more generally advance the cause of human rights. I love you so much, Roger. Get up here and tell us something about you.
I'm adjusting this microphone because I wrote something down last night and it's on my iPhone. I've no fucking idea what it is, but whatever it is, I'm going to Sophia! Hey, baby! It's my goddaughters.
Piper at the Gates of Dawn is the best Pink Floyd album!
What was that? One can't be too careful, you know, out in public. Trolls are everywhere. This is weirdly basic. Can you get any more top in it so that people can hear what I'm saying? Get to it, my man. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. I'll stay on mic. I've no idea how long this is going to take because I can't remember writing it, but there we go. I can read it, which is brilliant. Are you ready? Yeah! Alright. What does that say? Good afternoon. Alright, I'll stop joking. Well, probably not. You know. It is great to see you all here, obviously. Well, who's that talking in the back of my... What the fuck is that? Oh. I don't know what it is. It sounds like bad radio. Shut up, please. Thank you. We're singing Sophia the goddaughter on it. Alright, here we go. Witness what's going on behind me. It's quite a good first sentence here. We live in what may be the craziest city, in what is definitely the craziest country in a crazy fucking world. As the Big Apple goes to its completely crazy Christmas thing, I was just thinking, wouldn't it be great if the holidays... What is that? What is it in my ears? Ah, I know what it is. And I'm sorry that I'm doing this. That's what it was. Wow, we live and learn. It was a podcast playing in my hearing. So all I can do is apologise to whoever was shut and screaming. It was me. All in all.
Right again.
I was just thinking, wouldn't it be great if the holidays were free of our attachments to competing deities or their disciples or prophets, and could simply be a seasonable expression of general thanks to no one in particular for the bounty that this beautiful planet bestows upon us poor sinners. And thank you. I don't know, something to... and maybe even a celebration of our potential to look after one another. Paragraph. What's this got to do with Julian Assange? I hear you say. Well, actually, everything. Bear with me, I'll get there. Ever since the persecution of Julian Assange started in 2010, or whenever it was, I've been boiling with rage. Finally, someone was providing we the people with a hitherto absent public service, namely telling us the truth about what was really going on in the corridors of power and the theatres of war. The persecution has been going on for so long, it could be hard to maintain our rage. Not the smear campaign against Julian being enraging and diabolical and circumspect. So the rage is still there, boiling away. But I'm going to digress and talk for a minute about hope. 5 years ago, in October 2017, during a tour of North America, I did a Q&A in Vancouver. It was a meeting to support the BDS movement. Thank you.
Same thing.
And it was co-hosted by two charming ladies of different faiths. One, a Jewish lady, and one Muslim. We had a good talk. You can find it on YouTube if you're interested. Oh, fuck off. Sorry. He texted me about football. I've told you not to text me about football, ever. Okay, so... we had a good talk. Find it on YouTube if you're interested. Anyway, at the end, the Jewish lady asked me a final question. She was a little bit overcome, I have to say. She was a sweet woman. She said, "What gives you hope?" Isn't the human heart a remarkable organ? Mine, in that moment, that evening in Vancouver 2017, took me back to a morning in New York City 15 years earlier, in 2002. I was with an old friend, a man called Etienne Rodachil, a great French lyricist, who I was working with on Sa'ira, opera about the French Revolution. We would stop for breakfast and sat in a patch of morning sun at a table on the sidewalk outside a bar on 54th Street. I had an espresso. Etienne had a famous grouse, a large one, and opened a packet of Benson and Hedges cigarettes. We chatted, the usual breakfast small talk, you know, the meaning of life, that sort of thing that Frenchmen do. Oh, sorry. Etienne took a few deep drags on his second or third Benson and did that thing Frenchmen do with their eyebrows raised and the corners of their mouths turned down. He nodded, ground out his cigarette in the ashtray, looked into my eyes and spoke. He said, "I was here." Translated that as, "I was here." I felt something, and perhaps I was not alone. That is what gives me hope. Perhaps we are not alone. And that brings me back to Julian Assange. Julian Assange reminds me that I am not alone. Because in fact, without Julian Assange, we might as well be alone. Without a free press, we might as well be alone. Without basic human rights for all our brothers and sisters all over the world, irrespective of their colour, religion or nationality, we might as well all be alone. That is why we are standing shoulder to shoulder outside the British Embassy in New York City alongside our brother Julian Assange. So Julian, thank you for standing up to the man on our behalf these last 10 years. You are not alone. Here today on 2nd Avenue, New York, and neither are we. We are many, and we have a message for Vanessa Bereza that apology for a magistrate that sent you down in that kangaroo court in London. Miss Blumenthal, you are a disgrace to the legal profession. Fuck you. Sorry. Sorry, I apologize. Sophia, quiet. When I spoke in London in Parliament Square back in February 2020, I wasted a few words on Boris Johnson, who was then the United States tame poodle, in Parliament. He ignored the law and did the bidding of his masters in Washington. Today, the current pitiful British poodle, Rishi Sunak, is equally well trained and biddable. Rishi, sit! Good boy. What about the law, Mr. Sunak? What about Magna Carta? What about basic human rights, Mr. Sunak? You're fucking wolf, Rishi. Paragon. Okay, last week there was a glimmer of light in the mainstream media. The New York Times, the Mirror, the Guardian, Der Spiegel, and El País published an open letter in support, dropping some of the charges against Julian. Welcome to the party, guys! Where the fuck have you been all these years? All these years when your colleague, Julian Assange, needed you, where were all your editorials exhorting the people to take to the streets in their millions before the dungeon doors slammed shut on free speech forever? I sincerely hope your half-assed letter is not just a whimper to cover your own sorry asses. I hope so. We shall see. There are others here to there are others here to speak. So in conclusion, I'll just remind all interested parties, especially the executive branch of the government of the United States of America, Joe Biden et al., and also all members of Congress, to some advice my mother gave to me when I was just a young teenager. She said, Roger, you will have many important decisions to make during your lifetime. When you do, I advise you to, above all, do your research thoroughly. Do all the reading, listen to all opinions, especially opinions that differ from your own. If you are thorough and turn over every rock, you... Telling a story. Where the fuck was I? It doesn't matter. If you're thorough and turn over every rock, you will have done all the heavy lifting. The next bit of the process is easy. So what's the easy bit, Mum? You just do the right thing. So Joe, come on, brother. For once in your fucking life, do the right thing! Free Julian Assange! Don't forget to feed the dog. All right. Thank you, Roger! Go, Roger! Thank you, Roger. Roger Waters once again. Thank you, Jim and John. All right, we still have Max Blumenthal and many others. But coming up right now. Coming up right now. Are you aware of that truck that was floating around D.C.? the billboard truck for 4 months with all of these signs here. Well, there are two people here that did the major financing of it. One is my friend Pete. Pete, as will be pointed out, and the other is that guy. No. Is a gentleman who has been involved for so many years in progressive causes, and plus he makes the best ice cream I've ever had, and that is the peanut butter baked fudge is my favorite. But without him, that billboard truck would run out of gas about 6 weeks earlier. So give a big round of applause to Ben Cohen. Ben Cohen. Well, it's not exactly last day. Yeah. I was supposed to be the lead up to Roger, but he came first. So here I am. You know, we are living more and more in a make-believe democracy. We are fed a mixture of lies, omissions, and the big runoff. So when Assange stood up and said the emperor has no clothes by publishing actual government documents, they set out to smite him down with the full power and might of the U.S. government. Let's kill him, says the CIA. Nah, that wouldn't look good, and besides, that would make him a mark. I know. Let's smear his name and come up with some trumped up charges. Well, they did that for a while and that worked, but then there were no charges. Hey, I got a better idea. Let's stick him in solitary confinement in a maximum security prison for a bunch of years. That usually drives people crazy. Julian Assange has been held in solitary confinement. Solitary confinement. 23 hours a day, every day. That's over 1,000 days solitary. It is solid silver. That is torture. The UN says it's torture. The World Health Organization says it's torture. And according to the National Commission on Correctional Health Care, solitary confinement greater than 15 days is torture. Assange is being punished, and the state of New York recognizes that solitary confinement over 15 days is torture, and they banned it. It's not allowed in this state. He's being punished, and he hasn't even been convicted of anything. Innocent until proven guilty, my ass. You know, there was another extradition case in England not too long ago. It was General Pinochet, who was accused of committing war crimes. And he got to stay in a mansion under house arrest with an ankle bracelet. Julian Assange is in England, awaiting extradition on a charge of exposing war crimes, and he's in solitary. We know what's going on here. This ordeal has lasted over 10 years, and our government is happy to stretch it out, because what they're really about is making the threat to any journalist anywhere in the world that if you print information, truthful information, that the U.S. government doesn't want out there, they will persecute you and make your life miserable. So we're here to have Julian because he did this for us. Sacrificed his freedom, his body, his mental health.
No, they don't. They cry. Go ahead, put his suck ass up.
What you gonna do? Blackball me? Replace me as an activist? Go ahead. What are you gonna do? Get rid of me? Replace me with other YouTubers? Go ahead. Replace my shit? Go ahead. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to me that you haven't already fucking done? I know no one will back to me, so I'm fighting my goddamn self. I know no one will help me.
Supposed to be a heroic act. It hurt nobody except for the corruption being exposed. But he's a threat to our militarized economy, the military-industrial congressional complex. That cabal has started or continued wars in the last 20 years based on lies at a cost of $8 trillion and 900,000 deaths. Julian Assange exposed the lies that drew us into those wars, the lies that justified continuing them, and the war crimes they lied about. Assange is right. If wars can be started by lies, peace can be started by truth. That is what
I'm saying the truth. You know me,
That's what the military-industrial congressional complex is.
I'm not working against anyone. I'm a real activist.
There are so
Find
many
out.
outlets in the world today.
Yeah, go ahead.
There are so many
Go ahead.
We are
Show me how to do it. Show me
overwhelmed.
you know what you're doing.
We can't.
You ain't scared of me, bro.
How do we decide which outlets to take a stand?
Free Julian!
Freedom of the press is the foundation. We will never even find out how all the other justices of the press must. At the same time, the religion of the world press. At least 360 people worldwide are currently in prison for their work in journalism. We all stand in solidarity with these journalists. Biden neglected to mention that one of those was Julian Assange. The reality is that President Biden stands in opposition to Barack Obama's decision not to prosecute Assange, and instead is continuing Trump's war on the press. It was Harry Truman who said, once a government commits to the principle of silencing opposition, it has only one way to go, and that's down the path of increasingly repressive measures until it becomes a source of terror for all of us.
That's right. I know activists here. What's up, baby? Because I'm
Julian Assange.
That's right. I get around. Go ahead, sucker.
We embarked on a mission
You stay
to
at
bring
home
the
in your
First
little fucking
Amendment to the world.
penthouse ass suite.
Little do we
Well, I'm
realize
living on the street.
that our greatest challenge will come as
Go
we
ahead,
try
boy.
to
Boy.
bring
Go ahead,
the First
Foxy boy.
Amendment to the United
Where's
States.
Nicky at? With his $20,000 logo. Fuck out of
There's
here.
something else that Julian said. Every time
Listen, y'all take care of me, I'll stop disrupting this shit.
justice and
But y'all shut me out
act,
because they're afraid of
we
this message, they're
train
afraid of
our
the truth.
character to be
They're afraid of the
passive
truth,
in
yeah?
its
They want the
presence.
victimization to continue.
And
They want to keep
thereby
stealing the money.
eventually lose
Nick, how much
all
money you get in a month off of cycling credit card payments?
and those
Nick,
we love.
half your board resigned, Nick.
So we
After sexual assault
are
allegations,
active.
Nick. Half your board
We
resigned, Nick.
will not be passive in the
We'll give up the
face
sexual
of
assault
this
victims.
injustice. We will not give up this fight for freedom of the press, for our democracy, for Julian Assange.
Because y'all not gonna help me. What up, Nick? Way to go.
All right, we still have
Get Nick's black ass up there
we
so I
have
can
Katie
fucking
Halpers
make fun of his
here.
ass.
Nick Rogers is right out there.
What up, Nick's black ass? Come on, Nick.
And the Raging Grannies are going to
Yeah, go ahead,
close
Raging
it out.
Grannies.
Right now,
Randy, you a sucker.
the
Yeah, I'm just saying.
About 3 years ago, someone inside the Spain,
I'm a real fucking ex-45 Katie Halper, I paid you. I paid Katie Halper to take me on the side. I paid her. But she never, no, I have evidence on Montana. But she's speaking today, not me. That's right, Katie. Katie dared her back on the side. I got the evidence on Montana. Go ahead, Katie. Go ahead, Katie. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Go ahead, yeah. It doesn't matter if I actually stood for Assange and she fucking was a traitor to him. Doesn't matter. What matters is that you know the poor people. What matters is that you know the elite. Yeah, look it up on my shit. I got the proof. He's pushing me, yeah. I got proof. I got proof.
I stand here,
I got proof of the criminal activity.
But this attorney
Nick Bond
gave me some files. He says, I said, what am I going to do with this? He says, son, journalists who can take it, make sense out of it, and write it fast. Who would that be, Randy? I said to the guy, Max Blumenthal. Max Blumenthal, and he wrote 3 brilliant, epic, 10,000-word stories on it. Would you please welcome Max Blumenthal? I'll speak louder. I was hearing some babbling around the outskirts. I don't know, was President Biden here? Everyone's trying to take my coffee. I'm glad everyone stayed after Roger Waters and Ben Cohen. The little people. Just a humble editor of a website that was just declared by Wikipedia to be far left and far right. We'll talk about that in a second because it does relate. Yeah, I came in last night, had dinner with an old friend, a not political friend, and he brought his apolitical girlfriend who brought her apolitical corporate friends. Very nice people, I mean, great people. And after 2 hours of talking about themselves, they asked me what I was doing in New York. And I said I was speaking at a rally for Julian Assange. And they just drew a blank. Who the hell is Julian? Julian Lennon, Julius Erving. They didn't know who Julian Assange was. And these are people that are highly educated. And they have been betrayed. No, it's not their fault. And when I told them who Julian Assange was, and he was literally tortured and was in solitary confinement for 1,000 days and more for exposing official corruption and the crimes of our national security.
Exposed corruption? Oh my God.
You see tears in your eyes when they learned that he was also a father.
Nick Bond exposed corruption. Do it.
He's been deprived of holding his children simply because he told the truth about our national security state. We have an entire population to reach here.
No, he never been friends.
Most people do not know who Julian Assange is. And that's why this work is so important. Now I'll tell you about another
I know they
event
don't. I know they don't. Right?
earlier
They didn't want to
this
hear.
year in
They
Los
didn't like. They
Angeles.
didn't like Rosa Parks sitting at the front of the bus. They
Lockdown
didn't like Rosa Parks sitting at the front of the bus. And their ride was disturbed.
It's irrelevant. We all need to
Oh
get
no,
along.
Max.
We
Yeah,
need to get
gotta
along.
hear Max, but not me. Gotta hear Max, but not me. The VIP. Max matters, not me.
I'm sorry you felt
Max
the
matters, not
psyop.
me.
I was just there to explain how I thought
What are you gonna do? Not
that
help me?
lockdowns and the health passports were creating a digital dystopia. And when I said that Julian Assange had warned about this for years, before I even called for his freedom, this right-leaning crowd got on its feet and cheered immediately for the freedom of Julian Assange. And it was an amazing moment. Now why? Why? Because they watch stuff like Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson has had Roger Waters on repeatedly to advocate for Julian Assange. It's crazy. We're living in an upside-down world right now, where the Fox News network that was clamoring for the war in Iraq is now presenting space for people to advocate for the freedom of Julian Assange. And so there's an opportunity there. And we really want to. But who are the people that we have the hardest time trying to talk to about this?
It's the progressives, the liberals, the MSNBC watchers, the people who read legacy media. We call them shit libs now, but these are educated people who read the New York Times and the Washington Post, and they don't realize the Washington Post is owned by one of the world's richest men, who is a contractor for the CIA, who hosts the CIA's cloud in his Amazon. They don't realize that, and they are hostile to Julian Assange.
Don't forget the people who support the Patriot Act.
The people who support the Patriot Act. So the mainstream media has become an enemy of the journalist, the most courageous publisher and journalist of our time. And I always tell this story. I always tell this story about the piece that I published that Randy mentioned at the Grayzone about how the CIA was running an operation to surveil Julian Assange at the Ecuadorian embassy. They had taken over the security through UC Global, and so everyone who came in through the front door to visit Julian, they thought they were speaking to an Ecuadorian security guard. It was in fact a CIA asset who would take their devices, open their devices, invade their devices, and then send it back to Lang. So who were they? Some of those people. Some of those people were reporters for these same publications that have demonized Julian Assange, painting him as a Russian spy and so on. One of them was Ellen Nakashima, a chief national security correspondent for the Washington Post. I published photos of her devices that were opened by CIA assets at UC Global. Just to restate that, the chief national security correspondent for the Washington Post had her devices infiltrated by the CIA. Now, can you imagine if the Russian FSB did that? What would have happened? There would have been headlines on every mainstream publication. I went to the Washington Post. I went to Ellen Nakashima. I said, do you have any comment on this? Do you have anything to say about this? No. Silence. Crickets. Not a goddamn thing, because they can't fight the hand that feeds them. They are cowards. No, they're worse than cowards. They are the voice of the national security state that Julian Assange exposed. They are the stenographers for our secret government, and they betrayed Julian Assange. So the letter recently came out. Thank you to the New York Times publisher Arthur Sulzberger for participating in this letter. Several mainstream legacy publications called for the U.S. to drop the Espionage Act charges against Julian Assange. Finally, years later, they finally did this. The New York Times was the only American publication to sign that letter. No LA Times, no Chicago Tribune, no Washington Post, no Wall Street Journal, no Associated Press, no Reuters, because they are the stenographers for the national security state. They are worse than cowards. They are part of the crimes that Julian Assange exposed. Julian Assange asked, what is the average death count for every Western journalist? That is a question we need to continue to ask today. Those people know that they will never be on the hook. They will never face punishment, as Julian Assange did, because they will never do what he did. But those of us who do, and we do this at the Grayzone, if you read anything Kit Clarenberg published recently about the British National Security State, British intelligence, we continue to do this. There is a target on our back because of what is happening to Julian Assange. And so we are fighting not only for the right of Julian Assange to hold his children and be with his wife, we're fighting for the right to expose the secret government, the national security state, the Central Intelligence Agency, $90 billion or more black budget, which has infested Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms with its former agents. And we see Garland Nixon here as banned from Twitter. I thought Elon Musk was exposing censorship. National security state contract. I thought he was exposing censorship. He said only the right is censored. But why are anti-imperialists like Garland Nixon censored? Why are they suspended? Why isn't he leaking the files about that? Why isn't he leaking the files about Russiagate? Why isn't he leaking the files about everyone who criticized the Ukraine proxy war being suspended? Why has Elon Musk not restored the Twitter account of Julian Assange? Could we at least free Julian Assange's Twitter account? I want to close by reading an email from Julian Assange. Hi all, I'm in Iceland. You should be too. Or at least reporting about it. I've been in Iceland the past few weeks advising parliamentarians here on a cross-party proposal to turn Iceland into an international journalism haven, a jurisdiction designed to attract organizations publishing online from Iceland by adopting the strongest press and source protection laws from around the world. In my role as Wikileaks editor, I get involved in fighting off many legal attacks. We do that and keep our sources safe from the attack to spread assets, encrypt everything, educate people around the world to activate protective laws and national jurisdictions. That's why I'm excited about what's happening in Iceland, which is starting to see the world in a new way after its mini revolution a year ago.
Why?
That was February 2010. But today, Julian Assange has been captured.
But some news is worth covering, some
He
news
was captured
isn't.
because he was
Go ahead, next.
because he was leading a revolution in journalism.
That's
why.
Right here, another replacement with
So it's our job today to continue that revolution, to continue the revolution that Julian Assange and Wikileaks started, and to see Julian Assange standing here with us and his family to see that revolution through. Thank you.
So I gotta go. Great
right.
seeing you, and let's definitely get it.
Somebody please give me back the coffee. No. There's another.
Every single person, every field of action that I work in, how
Unable
fake
to
y'all
bring
are.
up.
The whole public housing sector. They're gonna be worried about y'all every fucking day. Yeah, guess what? All the people that work in criminal justice reform, I'm warned about how fake y'all are every fucking day. Yeah, every fucking day. All the people that work in the anti-addicts, every day. I'm about fake shit. And it's that bullshit.
Everything okay?
Go ahead,
Free
go ahead, don't help me.
Julian
Help
Assange.
back. Free
Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange!
I'm going to give it back, too. My dear friend over here. By the way, way back in 1997, when I went for the first time, I had already been working on the Chevron case for 4 years. 30 years he has worked on the Chevron case.
Go ahead, Nick. You're a champ, bro. Keep smiling. Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Nick. Oh, my God. You're embarrassing. Go ahead, Nick.
He hasn't, and he's
Nick, go ahead, Nick. That's all right. Guess what?
Once again, Steve Dodson.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're goddamn right. Yeah, you know why? Because they're fake. They're fakes. They're fakes and they're stealing the money. And they're engaged in some kind of elitist ass sex thing. So it's fucked up. Yeah? How many more sexual victims there gotta be? Yeah? Guess what? Yeah? There's no time for my issue. Doesn't matter how many years I struggle. Doesn't matter if I suffer criminal shit. Yeah, guess what? I know you don't. I know. You want a black person. You want a black person that matters, not me. I know. Black lives matter. I When I actually get more shit together, won't hit it in any of them. I won't hit any of them. You can take my go ahead.
Literally the very next day, they let me go. The very next day. And in the course of that, situation, I was locked up for almost a year.
Bro, you win it. Go ahead, keep winning. Keep winning, bro. Keep winning. Keep winning. Keep winning, yeah? Keep winning. Keep winning.
Chevron prosecutor, not even by the U.S. government. And it was people like Katie and Max
and all of these independent journalists who were able to get the narrative, the true narrative of what's happening when the mainstream media almost completely ignored it. So I love it. Beyond that, I got familiar with her great podcast and all her journalism, and it's not only is it like brilliant and incisive, it's totally entertaining. Get up.
We've got one political prisoner out. We have a couple more to take care of. Leonard Peltier, for example, and of course Julian Assange. And Mamiya, free Mamiya, yes. By the way, my fan is out here. I want to thank him for amplifying my voice. This guy yelling about some of us. Can we do a prison swap between him and Julian? Yeah, or jumble. Yeah, I kid, because unlike Biden and Trump, I don't actually believe in prison people do their ideas. So keep going, my friend. My biggest hate man. But you know, it is really wonderful to be here with all these speakers. We need to come up with a Ben & Jerry's flavor.
Yes.
His name is the
Taste of freedom.
His name is freedom. Chocolate. Okay, so really quickly, I just want to say it's really surprising that Joe Biden isn't freeing Julian Assange, because you'd think that he would understand. He himself, having been, of course, locked up for visiting Nelson Mandela in South Africa, right? You'd think that he'd get it from his days, just like Julian Assange is deprived of sunlight. Joe Biden knows that feeling very well, from toiling in the mine shafts, having spent his youth in his father's forehead as well, apparently. Also, you'd think that he would resonate with Julian Assange, because of course, Julian Assange refuses to stand down. He takes on power, state power, corporate power, refuses to back down. And Joe Biden, of course, refuses to back down in the face of Corn Pop, a really bad dude who he met when he was a civil rights activist, by which he meant literally working as a lifeguard at a pool where some black people would swim. Which is, if that's not a white savior complex, then I don't know what is. But really, this is a terrible moment. This is a terrible stain on our history, which is already very stained. It's pretty despicable it took this long for these publications, which worked with Wikileaks and Julian Assange, to say that maybe he shouldn't be killed for the crime of journalism. I'm glad they did it, but it's too little too late. They already have blood on their hands. And it's really not that hard to be on the right side of this issue. This has nothing to do with 2016. People had their brains broken by Trump. But if anyone you know is a liberal, just ask them why they don't believe in the First Amendment, why they don't believe in the Remind them that they were so rightfully upset by Trump's attacks on the state. They should be upset by anyone's attacks on the state. Also remind them that Obama, a lot of people like Obama, whatever, a lot of them do, remind them that Obama was a little bit going after Assange because of the quote-unquote New York Times problem, right? He got that if he went after Julian Assange, he'd have to go after the New York Times. So this is what we need to remind people to do. If your friends are liberal, tell them to side with Obama over Trump. Tell them that Joe Biden needs to do the right thing and free Julian Assange. Thank you.
Well, we have another speaker, maybe another one. No. The Raging Grannies. So stick around for the Raging Grannies. Our musical close. What the hell are you doing? Okay. Now, I was in D.C. for about 4 months there with Trump. Sell flyers for the
Yeah, it is.
very difficult to get people out on the street to pass out flyers. It's something we've got to do, not just today, tomorrow. Get into a subway here in New York City. This is a very critical moment for Assange, because once he's here,
Yours was flat. That's why you gotta go to Keats instead of Starbucks. But,
so at any rate, they came down, Bernadette and my good friend here, Chuck, they came down many times to D.C. to pass out flyers. Marty was down there many times he's been an organizer here. Thank you, Marty, for showing up. Marty Goodman, give him a round of applause. And down in D.C., the whole time I was there, it's difficult when I was there on the truck. One person showed up in front of George Washington University about a month ago for 3 straight days and passed out flyers and went into the subways and did the same thing. He is the national coordinator for the People's Party and worked with Bernie Sanders for a long period of time. He was distributed out information for Bernie Sanders, who has yet to come out and support Julian Assange and prefer to support the war in Ukraine. All right. It's a good war. It's a fabulous war. It's beautiful. All right, so Nick Bronner, give him a round of applause.
Gustavo!
Free Julian Assange!
Free Julian
Assange!
Free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange!
My friends, Randy, thank you for that introduction. Thank you everyone who's organized today. My friends, we meet today as the world stares into the abyss of nuclear winter. That long freeze that follows the raging fire of humanity's last war. A new ice age of our own making, where the ash of humanity blocks out the sun, where the oceans freeze and the crops perish, where the lights flicker and fade, where famine and plague kill all who survived the blast. The sudden extinction of almost all life on Earth. A cold and dead world, all that remains of the once lush oasis in the vast emptiness of space. Free Assange!
Free Assange!
Free Assange!
Free Assange!
Free Assange!
Free Assange!
Free Assange because we stand on the edge of that future. And fearless independent journalists like Julian Assange are the only ones who stand in the way. People like Garland Nixon, Max Blumenthal, independent journalists are the only ones arming us with the truth to avoid that future. My friends, we meet as a new global aristocracy of ultra-billionaires extends into every aspect of our life. A high-tech dystopia where every move is tracked, every device surveilled, where police protect the ruling class with military weapons and killer robots, where super viruses that could wipe out humanity are engineered in labs around the world. This dystopian future that only science fiction writers and artists truly predicted. Roger Waters, a world where freedom and autonomy are stripped, where our civil liberties and medical freedom are extinguished, where our right to strike against the corporate masters is taken away. Free Assange!
Free Assange!
Free Assange!
Free Assange!
Free Assange!
Free Assange!
Free Assange because truth tellers like him are the only ones who can arm us with the information to fight back. But most of all, free Julian Assange because he's an innocent man with a great heart. Because his compassion spans the world and has touched millions of lives, including every one of us here. Free Julian because he exemplifies the courage that every one of us will have to show if humanity is to survive. And free Julian because his family is waiting for him. Stella, Gabriel, John,
his two young boys, because Julian belongs back in their arms. Thank you, Randy, Chuck, everyone from Assange Countdown to Freedom, everyone from NYC, Free Assange, who organized this today. You all give the world hope. Now he hates me. It's all right. The sound like a sea train. You hear me? Next stop, I can't stay or turn around. And the A, B, C, D, and the L train. She loves it. All right. Where are those raging grannies? Gotta go. Quiet. Sock. Sock. I hope it was a tie and they both lost, France and England. Are you all here? Well, how many people are in the Raging Grannies? Only 2 showed up, so it's almost... Do you want to join the group? Yeah. I got grandkids. Can I be a Raging Granny?
Oh, yeah, they are.
I don't even have kids. Sophia's my grandchild. All right, there she is. All right.
I listen to
Folks,
these people every day.
I feel like Ed Sullivan. Right here on our show today, right from Broadway, are the Raging Grannies.
Three of them?
No, there's actually several now.
Okay.
Well, what we have, we have this microphone set up. No, we didn't see it because the entrance is there's no front door. Like inside? Yeah, it's inside the garage door, you go inside.
What we hear is the plan while he exposed against the God's ways. They dismissed the charge.
Thank you for showing up today. Rana, where's Steve? Chuck Slackton, Max Blumenthal, my man. Who else? That's why he's doing his own stuff. Joe Laria, where's? Oh, there you are. Want to finish that story now? I cut him off a little early because he saw Roger coming. I said Nick Rana. I know I'm missing. Oh, the ice cream man. Did he take off with the Cherry Garcia? He left. All right. That's what they like. And Margaret Wagner-Kunstler, of course. And Sophia. Now, you don't know the story. When my Bianca died a year ago, we were all out here a year ago. Bianca just died. We were here. It's half this size. And Roger saw how depressed I was. And a few months later, this dog landed on my doorstep right here. This dog is from Roger Waters, and so is the sweater. So thank you, Roger, for that. Her name is Sophia, and she's really wonderful. Isn't she? All right. Once again, I want to thank you all for coming in. If I missed it. Thank you. I know, see what's here. All right? Anybody else to thank? What's going on with Joe? Julian Assange, of course. Let's go with one last time. Free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange!
Thank you, Joe Friendly is here today, who shows up at all of these events for the last 100 years. He was at the Haymarket trial way back in 1888. I don't know how it does it. He was at the Roosevelt trial. He was way back at the Southland Vincetti, 1923. Thank you. Folks, let's go out and vote for Joe Biden. I'm kidding. See you soon.